So welcome back to Obviously Fight Talk. This is UFC 218 Breakdown. We are joined. We're not saying he's the best. We're just saying there's nobody better. He's been away a while, but he's back today. Brendan Dorman.
Thanks for having me, everyone.
Classic. Yeah. Cracking card ahead. We're going to go from your main card, and then we're going to pick a under-the-radar bout. So opening the main card at UFC 218 is in the strawweight division. We have the karate hottie Michelle Waterson taking on Tecia Torres. Rob, I'll pass it to you first to change things up. What do you think of this one?
The thing I find interesting going into it is just how Michelle Waterson comes back. I remember the last one. She got beaten pretty handily by Rose. Now we kind of know how good Rose is now.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. Back then we knew she was talented, but we weren't sure the level that she was at. She's clearly at a very high level. So it'll be interesting to see how Waterson comes back. Tecia Torres has always been fairly good. She hasn't really been as dominating as she has been in Invicta, I don't think, since she's come to the UFC. She's kind of... she's had a lot of decisions and close decisions. So that's what I find interesting, just what Michelle Waterson will look like coming back into the fight. But it's a decent fight. One of the better fights I think you can make in that division. Two of the better girls.
Yeah, Brandon.
Does anyone know who's Torres camping with?
She is camping with. Isn't she going out with bantamweight contender? Bantamweight contender. Yeah, no, but she's in the same camp. She's in the same camp.
I don't mean dating. I mean who's her fight?
No, I know.
No,
but she's in the same camp.
She's
in the same camp as her.
She's from Coconut Creek, so
Yeah,
I'd say it's American Top Team, is it?
Oh, American Top Team. Yeah, I was pretty sure about that. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you have two good camps. I think it's going to come down to like striking styles. Waterson, I feel like from watching, I don't know, like video footage of her hitting pads or whatever, she's got a lot more arsenal than she's shown.
I think so too, yeah.
You might finally kind of see him. It's not that you haven't seen it, but there's to someone that's that high level striker, and even in point fighting, we've seen it. Not that she's Wonder Boy, but there is that level, right? There's other people that haven't quite cut it, like that kid Scoggins, right?
Yeah.
These karate stylists that are very skilled had a couple bumps in the road, her being one of them. I mean, you could see that. Whereas what's her name's nickname is like Tornado, whatever.
Tiny Tornado.
Those drive me crazy. But anyway, I mean, it does kind of, in her case, it does kind of, describe her style some. So it's going to be like this patience kind of counter-striking battle versus creating chaos again. No different, well, much different, but no different in theory than Joanna versus Rose, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Tecia does better in kind of a wild exchange type fight. Ground game is kind of a coin flip between two of them. Let's face it, we haven't seen like either of them at a super, super high level. I think Torres has shown more. Waterson, like you said, you got to reassess the Rose fight now,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's tough. I think I don't know what the line's looking like or whatever, but it should be about even on that, I would think, despite rankings.
Yeah. It'd be interesting as well, size-wise, because everyone that Michelle Waterson has fought, she's been pretty undersized. Tecia Torres isn't that big. I'm guessing she's smaller. I'll check that in a second. But physically, I think she'd be a little bit stronger, because if you ever see Tecia Torres, her physique is pretty impressive, especially for a lady. So I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see physicality-wise as well, because I think that Rose kind of overpowered Michelle Waterson in that fight a little bit. But I think Tecia Torres will be even stronger, so that'll be an interesting battle as well.
I think the big thing is they are ranked, I think, 5 and 6 in the UFC.
So they're neck and neck anyway.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But I think again, as you were saying, I think there's a lot more spokes in the wheel to Michelle Waterson, what you can see from her. We've only seen certain things, and the whole thing of that defeat to Rose was like. I think a lot of people favoured Waterson going into that fight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah,
I think she was favoured.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
biggest everything.
The UFC were pushing her as well, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
And
pushing
sure, she got the dreaded course of the ESPN cover, didn't she? The Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
So you go on that.
The curse.
That and Guido's, you lose.
Interestingly, they both have losses to Rose.
Rose Namajunas has beaten both of them. So, they've technically fought the queen of the division at the moment. Yeah. So, these are the princesses looking to become the queen. I like that. That was good. Just came up with it.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah. I think Michelle Waterson will use the karate point, and she'll get in, she'll get out, she'll stay in distance. And again, almost the way I tried to break down Masvidal against Wonderboy, she's gonna play the better game outside the range, and I think she'll use that range to her advantage. But if Tecia Torres can get inside that distance, she is a little chaos machine in there as well. But I just think Waterson's going to have too much, and I think we might see more of her. She strikes me as one of these fighters that when she's going to go away from the cage and come back, you're going to see more weapons added to the armory, and I think that's going to be the case on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think she'll be able to keep on the outside. I'm not sure what the reach is. I know she's slightly taller. I think 5'1" to 5'3", I think. So I assume she's longer. She uses her kicks pretty well.
2 inches.
Yeah, she uses her kicks pretty well. I think she's going to be able to stay on the end of that. As Brendan said, Tecia likes to kind of get in close. Yeah. I think Waterson will be able to keep her away from that. So I'm going to go Waterson by a decision.
Brendan, can we drag you into a pick?
This one you can. I'll go. I'll agree with you. I think I don't see a knockout, but I see her outpointing her, maybe hurting her. No finish. Neither of them are really, terrifying finishers. Although I wouldn't have said that Rose was a while ago, besides maybe her submission. So who knows? I mean, someone with a karate stylist, she hits with anything with a heel, let's say, flush. But I don't see any one punch knockouts. They're 115-pound women.
It is worth noticing as well, though. In Waterson's last 2 victories, she won via choke. So she's not, just a one-trick pony.
Yeah, she's not ground inept by any sense. I'm just saying they're kind of a wash there. The striking range is where it's interesting to me.
The next bout of the evening, this one, I really like this fight. Eddie Alvarez taking on Justin Gaethje. Of course, they were coaches in the episode of the season of Tough that I haven't watched. Rob hasn't watched. Brendan, have you watched Tough?
Never.
Okay, perfect. So we are a clean slate, 0-3 for watching Tough. But so we didn't see. I don't know how much all that drama plays into it. But Brendan, what do you think of this one? Eddie Alvarez taking on Justin Gaethje.
I think it's who's had more concussions. Someone's gonna just fall.
Yeah.
Gaethje, I mean, seems like a nice guy. Eddie was never particularly chinny. Now he seems really chinny.
Yeah.
He used to go. He talks about how he's been on all these wars, right? And Gaethje too, and we'll get to him, but. It's like I've been in wars, I've thrived in wars, right? That's like his claim to fame. But then it's like Conor just sucked his soul right out of his, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since then, that Poirier fight, although Poirier looked really good against Pettis too. I don't know. I mean, tough to say when you start doing MMA math, but you're just looking at two guys with these kind of recurring concussion issues where they're getting flashed, and even if it's not a complete finish, I mean, Gaethje. Against if Johnson could have found 2% power at a couple of points there, he could have finished. But that guy just doesn't. You got to really, really finish him.
Yeah.
Interesting in that regard. They're both chinny, but Gaethje kind of isn't as elusive. Let's say he kind of Frankensteins it forward, whereas Eddie has better footwork, better lateral movement, better punch selection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So. I think if Eddie tries to play the grappling game with Gaethje, I think that's a mistake. I really do. I think his footwork and listening to Mark Henry very closely to use his range. He's got a beautiful straight right that he can do. He can kind of no-tell on it unless he's fighting Conor McGregor. And Gaethje would be much better to get inside. He does that beautiful tie plum knee into drop step leg kick technique and uppercuts from there. I mean, he does it he's got that like a chain. It's like 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. It's a system of events. Person X does Y, I do Z. If they do X, Y, I do Z, A. You know what I mean? I don't think he's thinking it that well through, to be honest, but it's there nonetheless. It's undeniable. So I think it's going to be that. I think if it's wrestling exchanges, it's Gaethje. If it's distance and footwork and technique, it's Alvarez. If it's a gritty slugfest, so it's going to whoever lands cleanest. You know what I mean? So, and then someone goes out because both of them are looking really chinny to me.
I think it's weird that you're saying. I get what you mean. Like I think Gaethje, when I seen him when he fought Michael Johnson and stuff, I thought, right, that was an incredibly exciting fight to watch. But if he fights the higher tier guys like that, he's not going to get up there. You know, he's going to fall short because these guys are going to have movement. I agree exactly what you were saying, Brendan. He's not elusive. He does get hit, and it's like. This is the guy that is the complete opposite of Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson doesn't get hit and prides himself on that, while Justin Gaethje is like, hit me, motherfucker, I'm just going to keep coming.
He does. He states that as well, which is mad.
So it's
it may work with someone like Eddie, but with like a sniper like Conor, Ferguson, I mean, Khabib's another one. Even, Barboza, like that matchup, there's no way they would have made it because they're definitely trying to build his brand, right? I mean, if that's not obvious, I don't know what is, right? You're talking about Waterson, right? Like the cover of the magazine, whatever. They're definitely building this kid up to be something. So whoever they is seems to see something in Alvarez that they thought made sense because that fight seemed like a goofy announcement to me. I mean, I like it on paper, but there were other guys. If you're really pushing the guy, give him Barboza. I don't see that going well for him. For Gaethje, because it's not going to take much. Yeah. Even someone with stronger hands than MJ. Like MJ knocked out Poirier, but he's not a power puncher. You know what I mean? He's speedy. He's very fast. But like Barboza's power. You know what I mean? And if you stand in front of a guy like that, he's going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Yeah. Whereas Eddie's a little different. Eddie gets, I guess, caught up in the moment. Lately. Yeah. So. Sorry, I kind of cut you off with that.
The fight I'm going to look back for Eddie Alvarez for me is, yes, we've seen the Conor thing. I honestly think Conor does to a lot of people except Diaz. He gets inside their head, and I definitely think Eddie Alvarez is a perfect example of that. But now, that's not to take anything away from what Conor McGregor done that night. He looked like the Matrix when he fought Alvarez. But I'm going to throw back Alvarez's performance against RDA. I thought that was the best looking Alvarez I've seen. Although he did get hit in the fight, he just he was high pressure and combinations. But I can see him. I know you said about wrestling, you don't see him wrestling with Gaethje. It might be a mistake. I can see him mixing it up to give Gaethje different looks. To make Gaethje think I'm not just going to be in a stand up fight. He's not going to just stand and trade. He's going to mix it up, maybe even introduce leg kicks against him and work for takedowns. If he doesn't get them, even put him down, pick him up, let him waste his energy, get him back, hold him down for a few minutes, a few shots on the mat. I'm going to go with Eddie Alvarez here. I think we're going to go see a rejuvenated Eddie Alvarez. I think he's got a point to prove, and I think the fact that, as you're saying, they're building Justin Gaethje, I think he's going to use this as his statement to say, look, I ain't gone anywhere here. And I honestly think we're going to see prime time Eddie Alvarez and a return. And you take away Conor, like when he beat Anthony Pettis, when he beat RDA, everyone was going, holy shit, we've got a new king in the lightweight division. The
one that I was going to bring back to was the Gilbert Melendez fight, because Gilbert at times can be Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez type fighter where you can drag people into that kind of fight. Whereas I think Gaethje, it's almost impossible to fight Gaethje with a game plan like that. I think if you're an aggressive forward moving striker, that's the fight you're going to have with Justin Gaethje. It's very difficult not to have that kind of fight. So I think that it's going to be a brawl. I don't think it's going to be a technical fight from Eddie Alvarez. I think it's going to be a difficult thing to do. So that's why I think when you have Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez, and Eddie Alvarez, while I think his chin is still looking okay, his recovery is not quite as good as it used to be. And I think Justin Gaethje's recovery is incredible. Like, he gets hit and he gets hurt and then he recovers.
Here's the thing about the chins, right? Is it's tricky. It's not with Gaethje. He's never been finished, right? So to say he's chinny is like, it's not disingenuous because how many times was he on bad legs in the Johnson fight? Is it safe to say 5? Probably more. Like bad legs, not like a little hiccup. Bad legs, like oh boy, this might be over. 5 times. So it doesn't take much to make that. You know what I mean? The little we talk about this a lot, but that little movement of the brain, that little short circuit. But it's like he recircuits fast, if that makes sense. So it's like Eddie's very fast, if anything, right? He's quick. He's got quick hands. When he needs to finish, like he did RDA, right? He caught him with that beautiful short right, and then he just piled on. It was over immediately as soon as he heard him. That's the difference between maybe MJ and him, is that if he catches him, I'm telling you, it's all going to be angles and his hands. Yeah. He's got a beautiful straight right. If you can kind of throw that out and away instead of like your typical like 1-2, 1-2 drop step, he needs to be a little more creative, lateral, dart in, dart out, catch him once, and then, be Eddie Alvarez that we all knew, because he didn't do that well with Cowboy. He didn't really do all that well with Pettis, let's be honest. That was kind of a fight. Yeah. RDA, he looked like a phenom, and then Conor, he looked lost. Yeah. So Eddie Alvarez in the UFC is an anomaly to me. He kind of is too with one fight. Yeah, it's really tough to call.
Just the one thing I thought as well, though, I felt like, don't get me wrong, there was a good distance in between. Like there was like almost 6 months, but I almost thought after Conor and the beating, he took that. When he came into Poirier, I still think he looked a little rattled and he looked a little gun shy.
The Poirier one did look weird as well.
But now I thought Alvarez had turned the corner in that fight against Poirier, and he was starting to take over, and then it was a knee, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was another one of them ones where they were both brawling and they were both leaving openings, and I just favour Justin Gaethje in a fight where there's plenty of openings and you just have the younger guy, probably less shot-born, even though he's been hit so much, and we talked about that. Like Justin Gaethje's been hit a lot in his fights. He's 18-0, but easily 5, 6, 7 of those fights could be losses. Easily. Like if you just got caught with the right shot, they could be losses. So it's difficult when you have a guy like that. Yeah. He's 18-0, but he's not a Khabib unbeaten fighter. He's not that kind of guy. He's a guy who easily could have been beaten. You know what I mean?
Not even.
You know what I mean? Like
you
look at Khabib and you said there's most likely, like, whatever happened in those fights, he was winning those. But
Khabib decimates people.
Exactly. Whereas Gaethje,
he decimates everyone.
Gaethje gets in these crazy brawls where
Gaethje's in a fight every time Gaethje.
Exactly.
Fights,
yeah.
he's in a
fight. It's a coin flip at times, and he says it as much. But I just favour Justin Gaethje.
He's honest in his discourse, which is admirable, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So who you're going with?
I'm going with Gaethje. In a crazy brawl where he can just survive and land the better shots.
What I always love about this, Brendan, is me and Robert Thomas was this morning we were not about this, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm picking Eddie Alvarez. Yeah. And you're like, you know what? I sort of agree with you.
Yeah.
And then he has the day to himself, and you know what I mean?
Think about it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Am I bad influence on your picks?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Are we going to get you into a pick on this one?
Yeah, I'll do this. I think I can do everyone on this card. I don't have any affiliation with really anyone. Cool. So, oddly enough, after everything I said, I'm going to go with Gaethje to win. I don't know. That guy seems to have momentum on his side, and Alvarez in the UFC still, besides RDA, he has that one. I'm not impressed by his performance and all his other fights so much. He's a great talent, man. The other thing is, like, they both come from other organizations, so it's tricky. It's a coin flip.
It is.
I feel like it's this weird destiny pick, I don't know.
Bet on
so I'm just
going
to stick Gaethje by a finish.
Yeah, that's my insight. Don't bet on this fight.
Do bet on the fight.
Maybe bet on a finish, possibly.
Definitely don't.
It's going to be a decision watch.
Yeah, I don't think the thing is, like, everything is they're saying, I'm not going, exactly, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's one of them.
I don't think like that. Like, Gaethje's an animal, and if Eddie Alvarez can't get him out of there, he's probably going to end up on the end of a highlight reel knockout. So, moving up the card, we have Henry Cejudo taking on Sergio Pettis. This is a great fight. You have Pettis here currently on a 4-fight win streak, and then you've Cejudo coming off an incredible finish of. Name has left me. Wilson Hayes left me there for a second. Yeah, beautiful finish. And this is weird. This is Sergio Pettis is in the realm of he wins this. He's got to be looking at a title shot if DJ doesn't fight TJ.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
but let's pass it to Brendan. What do you think, Brendan, in this fight?
Technically, what you think of this fight?
No secret that Duke's a friend of mine, right? So let's get that out of the way. So no one thinks I'm marking out, dude. He's my friend.
Still hasn't
so it's
come
a
on
little.
the show,
I'm partial, I'm a little partial. Did you say still?
He still hasn't come on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
He said he will whenever you call him. I have his phone number.
He went and talked him.
I'll call him. Just tell me. Him. We'll talk off air about that.
Yeah, go.
Let's go with the card.
So Sergio Pettis is Anthony, but hungry. Anthony's lost his hunger. It's pretty obvious to everyone. Yeah. Duke would never tell me that. He loves him like his son.
Yeah.
But I see it, and I'm a little more objective, I think, from the outside looking in. Sergio still hasn't reached the top of the mountain, and he's lived in a brother's shadow, which sometimes can work out poorly and sometimes can work out phenomenally, right? You have like the people like Weidman and John Jones that you always hear about. They have these bigger older brothers that beat the shit out of them growing up or whatever, you know. That same kind of thing is in play here, where I don't think Anthony bullied Sergio, but it's a shadow thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he seems hungry and he's ever improving. And his striking is probably more technical now than Anthony's. I think his hands are much better. The problem's going to be is that build thing, right? When we're talking about smaller weight classes like that, Cejudo's a bit of a freak in the fact that after last fight, now he has striking in the mix. Good striking in the mix, I should say. I mean, he had striking before, now it looks good. And his wrestling is clearly, I mean, just outrageous. What he does there, who knows, right? Because both Pettis have always had super fast tips off their back, so just taking them down is not always enough. I mean, the control element is there. The difference between someone like Khabib when he takes you down and guys like in the Cejudo realm is that there's a ground and pound system and there's a submission system. Khabib's going to hurt you real bad, and then when he's sick of hurting you, then he'll submit you. Yeah. Like he's you know, he's almost a twisted fuck like that, but it's awesome. But it's a tough fight for both guys. I think the speed and the technique of Pettis is better than anyone besides DJ, right? He's a unicorn, right? But let's take him out of the mix. Cejudo's never fought a Sergio. Sergio's definitely never fought, you know what I mean? Vice versa. Cejudo and Pettis haven't fought anyone like each other. So it's like, even if I had no stake or claim in or dog in the fight, I'd still be going, I said this to you guys like 2 cards ago when it was announced, how much I was looking forward to it. Yeah. So I think stylistically, it's just it's got an old school feel to it, you know? Interesting. If Sergio can't land clean and gets taken down early and he stays down, you know, I think it's going to go, probably could go Cejudo's way that way. But don't be surprised if Sergio uses some crazy angles and kicks to, you know, angle his way into doing some damage. Cejudo's shown his body is a little weak. Don't forget that from the clinch. And it was, again, from the unicorn. I get it. But Duke teaches a really, really good Thai clinch. And it's different than a wrestling clinch, and people need to know that. So there's no area that's safe except for Cejudo's top game is semi-safe. Even that's nothing's safe. It's like no one's safe anywhere. Usually I like to go, if it stays here, this person's a little bit, and that. It's really not like that. I think I think if it's like kicking range, maybe Pettis is favored. Everywhere else, it's like flip a coin kind of thing. Yeah. Who's going to get off what they're trying to do better? I think Cejudo's going to be more comfortable going down to the ground, but I just don't know how much he's going to push the issue, I guess. Yeah. That's the big question mark.
It's a really interesting one as well, because like both guys have pretty much grown up in the UFC, you could say. Like we talk about
100%,
yeah, like because Pettis was probably 8-0 when he got to the UFC. He's still really, really young. And Cejudo
was 18, I think.
Yeah, like so it's crazy. They both kind of grew up in front of a huge audience like that, and they've had losses at the biggest level. So we look at the likes of Demetrius Johnson, who started in WEC and kind of started under the radar, and we forget how much work he done outside the UFC before he's become what he actually has become. So with these two guys, you don't really know how they're going to look in the next fight. Like Henry Cejudo looked like a completely different fighter last time. Completely different fighter. Nobody
like a reinvented
that.
Guy.
Exactly. And Sergio Pettis constantly looks like a different fighter each time. But looking back at some of their previous fights, which you have to look back at, you definitely have to mention, as you said, the wrestling and the grappling, where Sergio Pettis sometimes, again, this is probably gone now, but in some of his fights, he spent too much time on his back. And he likes to work off his back, and he's good off his back, but with a guy like Cejudo, who can be on top, who can land good shots and who can keep him down, you'd want Pettis to get up onto his feet. You don't want him to stay on his back because he'd be losing rounds.
Yeah, you
almost get hurt.
If I was his grappling coach, let's say, or if I was in the camp right now, I'd be like, don't even worry about your submissions. Use your submissions to create escapes.
Yeah.
Like hip bumps, fake guillotines to scooting your hips out, stand up.
Yeah.
Don't even play the ground game.
No.
Not with a guy like that. You don't win a gold medal in the Olympics in wrestling without a heavy, ridiculous top game. I mean, don't even play the game, because you may catch an armbar, you may miss, and he may get your back. And if you're turtled up against a guy like that, he's just gonna smash your head in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And even if he doesn't do damage, even if he doesn't do damage, when you're on your back in MMA, you're just not winning the fight. It's unfortunate. And
if you've sparred,
Yeah.
forget those lights, right? The little lights of the gym that you may train at. If you've sparred, being on your back sucks.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I mean, unless you're like drilling, if it's even quasi-serious, it's not fun. And when you have someone like that, they know how to lay really heavy. I've had white belts that had a wrestling background. They know how to be heavy.
Yeah.
You know? Usually jiu-jitsu players don't learn that to like blue belt-ish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
and how many
interesting.
How many
Super
times have you
interesting.
seen it as well where a guy is on his back, and even if he's doing good work, you're kind of just racing against time, because eventually, you know, you're in the second round and you're probably down 2 rounds, and then you're just trying to make up for that lost time. So I think it's going to be a difficult situation there. Striking, who knows what's going to happen? It's just a fantastic matchup in striking wise, but I'm just leaning towards the
kind of
grappling.
speed versus power, maybe.
Yeah.
Technique versus power, even. You know.
Yeah.
I think with this one, the disadvantage for Sergio Pettis is that it's a 3-round fight. I think if you got it into the deeper rounds, because I, as you said, I was just sitting back. You may have noticed I didn't open my mouth much while two were talking. I think the big gold medalist thing is a big thing. Like, Cejudo's wrestling is incredible, but if you look at his last 2 defeats against Benavidez and DJ, I think that was a big thing where he it was a big learning curve, and he was like, "It's time."
Benavidez was close though. Close. It was razor close.
When you look at like all his fights before that were split decision, unanimous decision. He was a decision machine, and when he went in against Wilson Hoyt, it was like a game changing moment. After 2 defeats, he was more aggressive, and you could see that in his striking. And that's the great thing with his caliber of wrestling behind him. He can focus so much on improving his striking, but what his striking will allow him to then incorporate his wrestling. Yeah. And like, he could sort of get in close the distance with his striking and get a big power double or whatever it may be, grab hold of a single, pick up a Pettis and, you know, take a slam. I just think his striking is going to open the holes to allow him to get Pettis down. Go ahead, hand raised.
Quick point. This just came to my mind. I think I always like to throw in a little technical tidbit for those that are watching that watch for that, probably only for me. I just want to get one little technique. Yeah, if you think back, you can go back pretty far with this, of wrestlers who came from a really high pedigree wrestling, right? Not high school, we're talking like college. I know you guys don't totally understand the concept of the All-American thing. I get it. It's not by your fault. It is what it is, right? We call football different things. So none of those guys really translate, not often, into great strikers. Jiu-jitsu guys have, right? Because a lot of people just start in jiu-jitsu. Like, you know, a lot of times that used to be the kind of the gateway in, right? Into MMA. So with Cejudo, it was really interesting to see him between 2 fights. So no time. Zero time. Yeah. No time. Freudian. With that, his striking to be actually like crisp, right? I mean, it was like good striking. It wasn't, he's improved a tad. It was like, whoa, dude can strike. So that's like, has he done that again? Has it been Fractal? Yeah. Because name a guy that's like, Cormier's striking sloppy. He's got good dirty boxing like Randy did, and most of them are kind of that vein. Right? It's like they do enough. Like, I don't consider John Jones a high-level wrestler. He kind of got into MMA with the Greco background, sort of, you know? Yeah. But he didn't even junior college. That's all he did, you know? This is a guy that spent most of his life thinking like a wrestler. And the muscle, I think it's because of the way that you use your muscles in wrestling are much different. You tend to lock a lot and hold. It's like holding strength. In jiu-jitsu, you're flowing, and it's loose, and as you know, with striking, it's all about being loose. You can't be tight and a good striker. Those two things, they don't work at all. I don't care if you're defensive, powerful, elusive, counterpunching. You have to be super, super relaxed. And I think that's interesting. So let's see if he's done that again. Because it's super impressive what we've seen already. But again, Sergio's he's super experienced for like 22. You know, he's a kid. Interesting.
I just think of that caliber of wrestler against them. I just think that's going to be the difference.
Very well could be.
And I just think, you know, the added wrinkle of striking that Cejudo showed, if he brings that to it, that's going to allow him to open up his wrestling. So, Brendan, I am sorry, I will be picking Henry Cejudo in this one. But like, as you just said, age there, Sergio Pettis is only young. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's going to have, like, you know, he's on a fort. Like, well, we will not be surprised if Pettis wins this, because the same thing can be said.
Exactly.
You know, he's gone away. We haven't seen him. What's he going to look like when he comes back again?
Improvements.
But,
right.
Exactly. So, you know, I think it's a great fight. It's a great fight for the division, and it's sort of a real good argument that if either of them win, you got to go, well, no, hold on, TJ. You know, there is a fight here. There is a legitimate
Depending
fight for
on
TJ.
how, maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I'm going with you as well. I think it's great as well because they were supposed to fight before both their last fights. They both won their last fights, and I think it's such a better fight now since it's been delayed. Like, we hate fights getting delayed, but now it's such a better fight. Like, back then it was kind of it's a good fight, but now it's amazing. I'm on the same line thinking as you.
211 there.
Pettis could have made huge improvements, and I expect him to make huge improvements, but just based on what we've seen, I think he spends too much time on his back when he shouldn't, and maybe that's because he's fought some guys who just has been able to keep him down. But I kind of just see the grappling being the X factor in this one. So I'm going to go with Cejudo by a decision. Yeah.
We'll make a pick, Brendan. The co-main event of the evening is a heavyweight bout between Alastair Overeem and Francis Ngannou. Brendan.
The most terrifying prospect in the history of anything ever.
Well.
Oh, man. Poor Overeem. No, I don't. Okay, Overeem early is dangerous. We all know this. He did this with Stipe, and then he got clipped. I don't think Ngannou's going to get... I don't know. I think he's going to... If I had to map it out in my head, if I picture this 100 different ways, I think 2 out of those 100, I see Overeem pulling something really tricky off.
Yeah.
Another guy I'm friends with, Dewey Cooper, not to the extent that I am with Duke, but Dewey Cooper is Ngannou's striking coach. Now that he's moved to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And he's shown me, like, privately some of the videos of that dude. Oh my God. He's just, you guys saw that he broke the world record, strongest punch ever thrown in the, like, that's been tested. He just passed Tyrone Spong with that.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous crocodile bite strength or something, you know. But he's fast and he's agile. Yeah. I have a quick breakdown of him on my channel, but it's fast. After this one, I'm probably gonna have to do another one, I think. Yeah. Overeem's a savvy vet though, and he's changed his game from his Overeem days quite a bit to just be cerebral. You know, he doesn't rely on. He still has knockout power. He's still a heavyweight, but he's not the guy that fought Lesnar. You know what I mean? That's a different dude.
That's a point as well. He's actually significantly smaller coming into this fight as well.
Much smaller, yeah. I think what you brought up, the whole trickiness experience, that's probably how Alastair would win it. That's when I was thinking about the fight. I was like, if he does win, he's going to show us something from Ngannou that we just haven't seen yet, that he's lacking. Could it be that Overeem goes for takedowns and gets takedowns? Because Overeem has a decent ground game. He has a good top game. It could be.
He doesn't have good takedowns, though.
No, not good takedown. Maybe a trip or something.
He does like front face lock or guillotine types to inside trips. He'll do that, or like from the clinch, he'll take you down. But he's not like he's not going to shoot a double leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What if Overeem gets in close and gets them knees going?
Possibly, again, I think we don't have a huge number of data or a huge amount of data on Francis Ngannou. We've seen plenty of stuff, but probably not a variety of things. You know, we haven't really seen him on the defensive a whole lot. So maybe something there.
I've seen some things that most people haven't, you know. And just watch out. I can't, you know, I can't disclose much. Yeah,
but that's what I expect. I expect him just to see a continuation of what he's been doing.
Dude, he's so terrifying. He's so, and it's his speed, his footwork already. Yeah. This is a guy that's pretty new to all this.
Yeah.
But he's picking everything up, like, again, I'll use the word fractal or exponential or whatever. It's just this crazy, rapid increase in skill.
Yeah.
He's obviously a raw animal. I mean, he's freaky. He's terrifying to look at. His hands are like, you know, the size of, like, you know, whatever, a guitar by me. But he's technically sound, and more so now than he even was in the Arlovsky fight. Yeah. So I think trickery is Overeem's biggest chance. And he comes from a great camp for that, game planning. But, man, Ngannou just seems like – he just feels like the future to me.
Yeah,
if he's going to have a hiccup, get it out of the way now because after that –
Yeah, like I was just trying to throw devil's advocate in there. Like Overeem, you look at his last few fights, and he became the running man in a lot of them as well. Where he was trying to say he was resetting. He wasn't. He was getting cardio in. He was
literally
doing laps.
running.
He was doing laps of the cage. And this is, I remember years and years ago, I remember Baz Rutten when he was talking about Alastair Overeem. When Alastair Overeem went to the Black Zillions. And he was basically saying he's getting away from... Alastair has never had a good chin. This is what Bass was saying, basically, where we always used to make sure that when he threw a combination or single punch, the hands would come straight back up to the chin. And when he went to Black Zillions, he got away from that. He started dropping his hands and thinking he was this ultimate striker and he could take a shot, he could move.
He is a great striker.
He is.
I know what you mean.
He was getting away from that
His
fundamental of getting the hand back, getting the chin protected. And I remember then when Overeem got knocked out, I can't remember who it was, knocked him out, and Bas Rutten basically just went...
It's probably the Bigfoot one, was it? When he got wrecked by Bigfoot.
But like, you look at Overeem, he's had a...
Travis Brown.
He's had a resurgence beating Verdum and Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt is a big hitter, and he avoided that, so can he avoid it?
It's so different.
The thing is, Mark Hunt sort of... No disrespect to Mark Hunt, I'm a big fan of Mark Hunt, but Mark Hunt plods forward, while Francis Ngannou does not plod forward. Francis Ngannou is like if you were having a nightmare and somebody was chasing you and you just couldn't get away from them. It was this guy, you know what I mean?
He's a predator.
I am proud.
I am
proud to say that last year we done our pick of who was the biggest breakout star in the UFC of 2017, and I actually said that I think Francis Ngannou was going to be the heavyweight champion. So I'm just off.
I think I said Max Holloway, did I? I'm not sure.
Don't think you did.
Well, that's a good. Both are great calls.
I think
he's so the guy you want, like in an alley with you.
Yeah, Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah, he's. It's not Mark Hunt, man. He can close distance in a fraction of a second.
I was saying
this is a different. I know,
power.
I'm just saying.
Francis Ngannou is the guy that when he stood behind you, you would talk shit to anyone. When you know Ngannou's your guy, you would talk shit to whoever.
And he could be an absolute superstar as well if you're not coming from the actual fighting thing. Just him. If he can knock out Alastair Overeem, that guy could be an absolute superstar.
One thing...
Oh, yeah, and the heavyweight division needs him.
One thing, have we seen him take a shot? Can he take a shot? Because Alastair Overeem can knock boys out too.
I'm sure, Brendan's face.
You gotta hit him.
Yeah, you gotta hit him.
Yeah.
You never know.
He's lightning quick.
As he's running off, his flailing arm might catch him. You never know. No, but look, I'm joking. I really like what Alastair Overeem has done.
Yeah.
I always watch him and Alastair Overeem was the guy that you were like, I want him to come to the UFC.
Yeah.
And he came up like somebody put a car pump in him and pumped him up. But he's very different looking now, and I just think his last few fights, although you have to think his last two, we were all salivating at Fabricio Verdum's jiu-jitsu against Harris. I know his last fight wasn't the most exciting fight in the world, Verdum, but he's beaten Verdum, he's beaten Mark Hunt, he's beaten Arlovsky in his last 4 fights. He's only lost to the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
So Overeem, realistically, Overeem beats Francis Ngannou. Overeem is legit for a title shot.
Oh, 100%.
But that said, Francis Ngannou is going to knock him out probably in the first round.
Yeah. That if is in font 248. That's a huge if.
Yeah, I'm picking Alastair Overeem. I'm picking Francis Ngannou first round knockout. I can't say anything else. Maybe a second round knockout. But I'll tell you what, Alastair Overeem has a serious balls taking this fight because this is a dangerous fight. Yeah. There's a young
no one wants to fight that guy. No one.
Serious set of balls.
I'll say this just as an ending on my post or this thought thread. I like Overeem as a person. We have mutual friends. I don't have anything personal against the guy. I don't see it. I think Ngannou's the future.
That's the thing, isn't it?
If this were Stipe, I don't know that I'd be saying it much different.
Yeah. This is the thing. I think Alastair Overeem has accomplished so many. He's had 58.
It's crazy.
Mixed martial arts competition.
MMA fight.
And he's like a world kickboxing champion and K1 champion.
K1 Grand Prix.
Grand Prix champion. So
he's had about 100 fights.
Yeah, this guy, more than 100. Jesus, this guy has done it all. But Francis Ngannou is now doing it all.
Yeah,
so I think he's just a big hungry. Look, every time, you know, they're also
heavyweights as well. Anything can happen.
Of the new breed, a new lion comes along, a new gorilla, whatever one you want to use. A new big motherfucker comes along and just takes what's yours and says, "This is mine now," and you have to go. Okay. Fair enough. You know,
what am I gonna do?
And that's it.
So, I wouldn't take it. Jesus, I don't want to fight that guy.
No, I'm like, have it. What do you want? I will give it to you. Stop wrapping your hands. There's no need to wrap your hands. Just have it. Have it. Yeah. Main event.
I bet holding pads for him's a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
That guy want to earn serious money. Oh, girl, let's not be sexist. Your main event of the evening was originally meant to be Max Holloway against Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar fell away. Facial injury, I think he orbital fracture.
Poor Frankie.
I can't remember.
Can't catch a break.
And Jose Aldo, of all the people you were expecting to step up, I was thinking Cub Swanson. But Jose Aldo...
me too.
Jose Aldo's taking the fight. It's a rematch. They fought not too long ago where Max Holloway, it's an automatic rematch. They fought back in June of 2017. So Jose Aldo stepping back up and getting an automatic rematch in weird circumstances. Do we see the outcome any differently here?
No.
Excellent. Thanks for joining Obviously Fight Talk.
I think all those... What did I hear? What?
Thanks for joining. We're done.
I said thanks for joining Obviously Fight Talk. This has been 91.
And good night.
Hilarious if you ended it there.
No, Aldo's just gotten away from everything that made him good. Even with Holloway in the first fight, he threw this wonderful, like, fake 2 bolo uppercut into a 3 that was long, and then forgot how to leg kick again. It's like, Jesus, man, you can't just throw single leg kicks. All of your best success with them was off of your hook.
Yeah.
You know what the Dutchie... I call it a Dutchie because of his camp. And I've been using that term for 8 years, longer. I don't know, a long time. What happened to that? What happened to your black belt in jiu-jitsu? Where's that? It's just like all these things are like gone from him. I just think he feels broken to me. And he used to be one of. It's not like he isn't now, but he was one of my favorite fighters when I was like, finding myself especially as a coach to watch, because he was doing everything kind of right and he was so dominant. Last fight he had moments, he had moments, and then he had really bad moments. He got clipped.
I think I think the moments.
I think he's another chin guy that you got to put in there.
Yeah. I think the moments you're referring to though as well, Brendan. I think Max Holloway was just having a look at him. I think Max Holloway.
Yeah, that guy's.
Like for me, yes and no. Like nobody wants to get hit. He definitely got hit.
Just in case he likes to get hit.
So I suppose.
Well, he's like a masochist.
Yeah,
I don't know, sadist. Someone that likes pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's different. That guy's a little different.
Yeah, Liverpool fans. They love a bit of pain.
Like nobody wants to get hit, but I do think that Holloway was feeling him out at times there. I don't think there was any point where he was in trouble. Like, there's a few points where he was backtracking, he was moving backwards, and people were like, oh, maybe he's hurt a little bit. I don't see that. I don't think he was hurt at all.
You've never seen him in trouble?
No, never really. That.
He's never looked hurt?
No.
Never.
Yeah,
Hawaiians, man.
You look
Polynesian blood.
Look though, right? You look at Max Holloway. Right? Max Holloway is 25 years of age.
I know.
We're coming to the end of the show, and Noel starts
I love picking up the mic. Yeah,
I love that. Yeah. I feel important when you do that. Yeah.
Max Holloway is 25 years of age. He's on an 11-fight win streak.
25.
The last man to beat him was Conor McGregor. He's looked better and better and better every time. And I just
even that fight was kind of close.
Yeah, it was very close. But that's the one. If I was Sean Shelby, or the UFC matchmakers, if I was allowed to make
Fred
one wish,
Shelby.
Yeah. If I was Sean Shelby's younger brother, Bruce John Shelby, I'd say, hey, Sean, make Max Conor 2.
Rupert Shelby.
Yeah. I'd love to see Conor Max go again, because I think they've both, two of them have evolved
even
as
at
fighters.
lightweight.
No, let Max beat Jose, let Conor beat Ferguson, and then have a super fight. That is a super
fight. At what
fight.
way?
Which one?
Conor and if let's say Max
Conor
beats
Max?
Max beats Jose this weekend, and then they make Conor Ferguson, let's say January.
Oh, Christ, the fucking super fights. No,
No,
God,
but
no.
Max Holloway, Conor McGregor is an incredible fight with the two of them champions of
If he
featherweight.
vacates, if Conor vacates, awesome. You got Tony, and I mean, you got Tony. What's he doing? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
So he just, if I like the Motown Phenom, but he was ranked 7. Khabib's he's gonna be fatty, and everyone's gonna talk a lot about him as if it fucking matters to that guy who grew up in Dagestan. He doesn't give a fuck. He's gonna fight Barboza, and I love Barboza a lot. I know him. Yeah. And then what? You know what I mean? Let's get some of these titles to start feeling real.
I know, I agree.
That's why I don't even like Aldo in this fight. Honestly, you give him another shot, his 5th shot at redemption here. Come on, man.
Who else? Like in fairness,
you could say that about Frankie as well. You could say that about Frankie as well. To be fair, Frankie's had a shit ton of shots as well.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but
sure, but he did earn it.
But Cub Swanson Brian Ortega is a great fight. I think that's a real standout fight. Cub Swanson and Brian Ortega. I think that's a great fight.
It's a phenomenal fight.
So
I just don't like Aldo in it. I don't.
Let's go back to this fight.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Is good thing, Rob. Brilliant. For me, I think Aldo just isn't going to offer anything new to Max Holloway. Well, I think Max Holloway has gone off and has just become more ninja.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
I agree. As well, if you watch the finish as well, it was a very simple combination that Max Holloway landed, but he just the range that he landed it was just beautiful, just straight down the middle.
Putting the mic back down.
And also Jose Aldo traditionally his defensive techniques was a lot of head movement and just getting out of range.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Nice.
Very good.
Well done.
Just getting out of range, whereas I don't know if he can do that anymore. I don't know if he's really...
He doesn't do it, really.
Yeah.
The only time he seems to show up lately is when he fights fucking Frankie. It's weird.
I know, I put a beating on Frankie as well.
You said something though, Brendan, where you said he looks broken. He does. He looks like a bloke who's like...
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fight anymore, and people are going, no, get out and fight. And he's like... He always looks nervous.
I understand Portuguese, and they soften his words in the they do UFC countdown.
Yeah.
Like you can watch it on YouTube. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That one, they're not translating exactly what he's saying.
Really.
And if you listen to the way he used to speak versus now, there was a confidence there before. It's not there now. They're like creating his confidence via translator. Yeah. Like he's not saying exactly. And someone, hopefully in the comment section that speaks Portuguese, can do this for me and actually tell me where it's wrong. But because I can't think of an example right off the top of my head, but they're like, in other words, he might say like, it should be a good fight, and last time he did get the best of me, but this time things will be different. That's what he's saying in Portuguese. And in English, what they're writing is, he got lucky last time. This time we'll see who the king of the... Like, they're changing it to make him a little more confident than he really is. I just think he's a broken dude at that level anyway. I mean, he's still going to, whatever local organization at 145 and decimate everyone, but not... A guy like Holloway, what are you going to do? You got to submit him.
How does Holloway
that guy doesn't feel pain, clearly.
What you have to consider as well is his last fight was Max Holloway, and his last fight he got dismantled by Max Holloway. This is his first fight since probably the biggest beating of his career. The one against McGregor, he got finished. It was an amazing finish, but he got dismantled by Max Holloway. He got beat up. That's something that changes your career permanently.
And as well, with the greatest
beating on the ground after getting clipped.
Yeah. Oh man, you got
greatest respect to Ricardo Lamas.
Took a beat.
A very different fighter. Jose was preparing for than Ricardo Lamas.
Yeah.
So that, to go from Ricardo Lamas to Max Holloway.
But to be fair on that one, he is very experienced. He has prepared for Max Holloway before, so I don't think that's a problem for me. But I just think coming off that loss to Max Holloway, taking a beating, I think it's a very, very
Max Holloway
tough.
Is just he uses his
range
too much, and his
confidence too. His confidence going.
He's a wild man. I love it.
He is.
I don't know what to expect from him.
No.
You don't know.
With Jeremy Stevens, when they pointed at the thing, let's fucking do
it's crazy. He's crazy.
Was it Jeremy Stevens? I thought it was. Wasn't it? What's his name? Who used to have the bad mullet? Lamas?
Wasn't it Lamas? Yeah, it was Lamas.
Was it Lamas they started with?
They pointed at the mat and they just finished like literally street fight scrapping in the center. It's amazing.
One thing as well I want to bring up is the size, because Max Holloway, he's not the big, like he's long, but he's not the biggest, but he's getting physically stronger. And Jose Aldo, the more and more you see him, he's looking weaker and less physically impressive. And I think that's just a thing that happens in MMA and combat sports, where guys like get bigger just as generations move on. Guys get bigger and more impressive.
The big thing I think as well with Jose is the mystique is gone.
Yeah, that is true.
The mystique of Jose, because I remember when
Max Holloway is building a mystique now at this point.
When the new people, when like the new fans of MMA who came on board with Conor McGregor, when Jose Aldo was matched against Conor, and they're he'll fucking batter him and all that, you're going, mate, have you ever actually watched Jose Aldo?
I know,
this is the hardest fight he's ever. And you were, and they're you're cheering for Aldo, are you? And you're going, no, I'm not. You need to understand how amazingly good Jose Aldo is as a fighter. Yeah. And then he knocks him out in 13 seconds and you're going, and they're going, I told you.
Yeah, shut up.
I was that guy. Not before that fight, per se. But, when Conor first came to the UFC and everyone's like, wait, Jose's, it's like easy. Yeah. He beat Seaver. Easy. Yeah. But... it is what it is. Conor obviously was much. You couldn't have known watching his fight with Brimage or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the point is, the Aldo that I remember, USADA, that guy, was really
Brendan, that sneeze
really good.
Sounded suspiciously like you said pre-USADA.
Is that what I said?
It sounded like that. It was weird. Just the way you went achoo, it was weird.
I don't know. Sometimes it's I said that
the acoustics.
Like
it's the acoustics in your room, I think.
What's up?
It's the acoustics in your room. It echoes USADA or something. I don't know.
Running to take a pee-pee. That.
But sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah, pre-USADA, Jose.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So there was some guy. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but yes. Yeah. Back in the day, Jose was kind of a different dude, man.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like kind of what I was saying. All right, for instance, when he broke what's his name's arm with that left switch kick, and then he shot in for a double leg. Do you remember that fight? The guy broke his arm.
Was that a
Korean guy?
Korean zombie? Chan Sung Jung.
Yes. Okay. Shoots in for a double leg at the speed of light, takes him down. He transitions at lightning speed. You think of his fight with Lamas. Think of his fight with who was that really good kickboxer? Really like hair like mine, no hair. Good kickboxer. Mark
Hominick.
What'd you say?
Mark Hominick, the Canadian.
Yes. Thank you. You look at those kind of fights. First fight with Mendez, even second fight. In some regards, right? We're talking about a different guy, man. Yeah. That guy, I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Chad
Even
Mendes.
with Frankie, I don't know. It feels like just a horrific matchup for Frankie for some reason. Because Frankie looks great against everyone else. Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah. Frankie Edgar is Jose Aldo's BJ Penta. Frankie. Remember Frankie? Just lit him up.
Well, before. Now everyone's that to BJ.
Everybody loves a BJ.
Just made me get depressed there.
No,
I said everybody loves BJ.
Right.
So who are you picking?
I'm picking Max Holloway, and I'm going to go a finish in the second. Knockout, TKO type B job.
Mr. D.
Stop saying what I'm going to say.
You're going to say a TKO type B job?
I'll change up. I'll say Holloway in the third via finish, strikes, TKO. Third round, mid-third.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. I think I'm going to make a prediction too on how. I think he's going to lay some groundwork out and draw Jose into his game, and I think he's better at his game than Jose is, and he'll clip him that way. Won't be another 1-2 or anything. Maybe an elbow that'll hurt him, and then he'll just do what he did last time and just pile on. That guy's doesn't get tired, doesn't get hurt, just like a matter of time. And I don't see it going 5. Although whenever I do that, I curse the fight. So. I forget I said that. Third round, middle third, TKO, Holloway.
I see him absolutely dismantling, like picking him apart.
Really?
To the extent where one at the end of the rounds, Jose won't want to get back up off his stool.
Jeez.
I honestly see this being fight that Jose Aldo goes, this is it. Like, if this guy is top of the perch here, I can't get there again.
Realistically, if he does lose to Holloway in this one and gets beat up again, that could be his last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think...
Where do you go from there?
It's
should be.
Not too many fighters get to walk away going, sure, wasn't he great? Because, they all tend to end on a bit of a slide. But I just think Max Holloway's just got his number. The way Jose has Frankie's number, I just think he has his number, and I just think he's going to dismantle him, and it's going to
not just that. I just think Holloway's better too.
I just think he's going to pick him apart, landing shots from all angles, and use his range, and I think he's going to bully him.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he looks like though, Max Holloway. Like every time he looks better, so I really can't wait to see what he does.
I almost sound like I'm disappointed by that. I'm not. I love Max Holloway. I'm not the biggest fan of Jose Aldo because he's a bit of a dick, but
I like Jose Aldo.
But great fighter. He was a great fighter. But I'm a bigger Max Holloway fan, so I'm going to go with Max Holloway, and I think he's going to absolutely dismantle him. And I think if Max Holloway wanted, I think he could get in there. Max Holloway, I think if he wanted, he could get in there and finish him in the first round. But I honestly think he's just going to be not cautious, but
I'm not giving Jose Aldo any chance. He's going to win. He's
aggressive. He's going to be aggressive.
I never do that.
I know.
He's going to be aggressively controlled, and he's going to pick and he's going to pick his moment to put him away.
Crazy Hawaiian.
Yeah, under the radar, Rob. Let's throw a fight. Any other fight that stands out on the card to you? To me, I can't stay away from former guest of the show and teammate of Max Holloway. Alex Oliveira, the cowboy, is taking on Yancy Medeiros. This for me is an under the radar fight. Yancy coming out of that camp as well with Max Holloway. You can only imagine what goes on in that camp. But great finish. His last fight was over Eric Silva fighting another Brazilian. And I just think, I think this stands out, and I think it's a good fight for Yancy to really make a statement as well, because Oliveira has had some big notable wins as well.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I think Cowboy, olive skin Cowboy, is very he's a tough kind of gritty dude. He's not the flashiest, smoothest cat. Yancy's a very smart fighter.
Yeah,
watch him fight. He's very cerebral. Yeah. So they're kind of different ends of the spectrum as far as athletic gifts versus cerebral ways. Interesting fight. Yeah, I like that.
I like as well that they both kind of found their home at welterweight. They've been kind of up and down and all over the place, and I like both of them at welterweight. My one is the main event of the prelims: Paul Felder against the other Oliveira, Charles Oliveira.
Stop it, Rob! Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Is that yours? Of course it was. We'll let you talk about that one then. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I like the fight. That's what I'm gonna say. I like the fight.
That's it.
Yeah, no, Paul Felder, big fan, great striker, very exciting striker.
Savage.
Yeah, savage. Good commentator
looked
too.
Excellent against Stevie Ray as well.
Yeah, good commentator too.
Oh, and I like Stevie Ray.
Charles Oliveira, he's a bit up and down. You're not really sure what you're going to get with him in each fight. But when he's on, especially on the ground, he's very, very impressive, that's very exciting.
What is his last fight against Will Brooks where he climbed up the back from? Was that where he got?
I think so, yeah. But you can also say the same about Paul Felder. Sometimes he just doesn't show up, or he does show up, or he's the type of guy where he really needs to get into the type of fight he wants to be in, or a lot of times the fight just kind of runs away from him. If he doesn't take over in the first round, a lot of the times he'll lose.
The big thing is Oliveira struggled to make the weight a few times.
Yeah, that is a big one.
So it'll be interesting to see how the cut goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll give you guys a little inside, not out of school talk, but inside scoopish. Felder kind of came up through Daniel Gracie. If you know that, now you do. If you didn't know that, now you do. Out of Philly, and I know Daniel pretty well. I know Paul pretty well. Obviously, I know Henzo well. All through Henzo, right? And when he was first breaking in, they used to ask him because he was always a striker. I think he's got a taekwondo background and then some kickboxing. And they said, what do you take away most from Daniel? What do you take away? And he gave a hat tip, of course. And he said, because I don't know if he's even still working with him, to be honest. I haven't seen him post kind of together lately. I'm sure they are, but I know he's working with Duke too, which has helped him. Clearly, his elbow strikes. Jesus Christ. What I was going to say is he always was speaking of, obviously, Daniel's experience, all the kind of semi-cliche things to say, he's great because he was great, But he was saying about his jiu-jitsu specifically. He's him teaching me how to get back to my feet to fight. So who knows what's changed? That was a couple years ago. But you're talking about a jiu-jitsu, a submission wizard. Let's say that a submission guy, a submission hunter versus a striker.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? So it's going to be, that one's a very, where's the fight? Where's it going to be?
I just think Paul Felder's tougher. I just think he's
I do think that as well.
I think Oliveira has a quit in him.
You think he's what, bud? He's
tougher.
What?
He's tougher, like harder.
He's tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
think Oliveira just has a bit of quit in him. You know, when things aren't going his way.
I do like about Oliveira, though.
Quitting guy. Yeah. No.
What I do like about Oliveira, though, is he will drag people to the floor. If he wants to get to the floor, he will jump on them. He'll drag them. He'll pull guard. He'll do anything. And if he does if he does get Feller into a situation, even if he's on his back, you know, it could be trouble. So it's an interesting one. I like it.
If you if you disagree with any of the fight, well, not disagree. If you think we've missed one from under the radar, give your shout out there. Give your predictions underneath.
Thoughts.
UFC 218. It's an absolute cracker. I have a feeling there'll be a lot of talking points about this for next week's show.
I think so too.
And let's recap that all here on Obviously Fight Time.
I'm down.
Excellent.
All right, see everyone next week. Same bad channel, same bad time.
Oh yeah, and go and check out Brendan's channel and hit subscribe if you're not on it yet. Brendan Dorman on YouTube. Hit him up on Twitter as well. He always he loves when you talk to him. He'll give you a stick there too.